see that, you know what, man, this guy is the same, and he cut hair for a living. He had a barbershop out in Troy, Alabama. He is from Alabama. Yeah, so when I actually went down there and visited him I think I was like 14 years old. 14 years old when I first laid eyes on him. And just saw him working in the barbershop and interacting with people and being active in the community. I mean, he would wake up in the morning and go pick Purple Hull peas and take them to the barbershop and give them away. Or he'll bake peanuts and take them to the barbershop and give them away. Or he'll go to the local Goodwill and buy a whole bunch of clothes. And when people come into the barbershop, if they needed a coat or whatever it was, hey, reach over in that bag and get you something. And that's what type of person he was. Yeah. Right. So, right before, when I went to the military, I cut a little bit at my first duty station, and that was in Fort Carson, Colorado. And right before I went to Germany, my dad told me to come down to Alabama, so I went down there and spent about a week with him. And he put me through a crash course. And right before I got ready to leave, he gave me a brown suitcase with, some Andes trimmers in it and some Masters clippers. And he said, boy, go make something of yourself.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay.
That's an awesome story. That's pretty cool. And it worked out perfectly for you.
It did, because, when I, like I said, coming from 648 people and going to a whole nother country, to Germany, I didn't know what to expect. People over there, they driving almost 200 miles an hour. So I'm looking at them like, hey, man, y'all need to slow this down. But when I got there, and I had already got forewarned. They said, when you go there, do not plug anything straight into the socket. You got to use this little box, this little converter box that's going to help you with the voltage. So I plugged those clippers in, and they started yelling. And I told them, hey, who want to get a haircut? Because I'm the best barber in Germany.
And I remember sitting in your chair many times.
Yeah, it was crazy. I just remember the guys putting the earplugs in their ear while I cut their hair. But I appreciate those individuals trusting me during those times, because really that was God setting me up for my future. That was me getting my reps. That was me getting my practice in. Doing those different style haircuts and being in the military, you have people from all over the world. I still remember, Varnell Johnson, he's from Virginia. My guy Jackson, he was out of Baltimore. My guy Sergeant Major Pettis, he's still in.
My homeboy.
Yeah, Pettis, he out of Florida. Turner, Nate Turner, he was out of Akron, Ohio. That's before LeBron James. We didn't know about no LeBron James. If you knew Turner, you knew about Akron, Ohio, because he was heavy on Akron.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
But you said something that was really important about diversity, especially coming from a small town and then going into the military. So of course you were able to cut so many different types of hair and learn from that. And I hear a lot of people that are in business right now, and they're saying support black business, and I agree that you should. But I was like, you gotta, in order for you to really build your brand and your name and all that, I believe it's important for you to diversify. You have to include everybody in your in your business. But I'm a part of certain groups on like Facebooks and things like that, and they talk about supporting black business. I do, but I also feel like you have to include everybody in that. You know what I mean?
You
feel strongly about that.
You definitely have to. You definitely have to, because one of the things that I've learned being in business now 16 years is, if you're counting on people that look like you to get you there, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. I say it all the time.
It's not going to happen. You have to be able to, you know, cater to everybody. You know, I used to hear, a guy growing up in a small town. He used to say, "I don't turn down nothing but my collar." And as you can see, I don't even wear collars. I wear T-shirts.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So that's it. That's it. You know, because being out here in the Dallas Metroplex, we have everybody walking through the door. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody, all nationalities. You know, growing up in the Boot Hill, I knew black, I knew white. We had I don't know what nationality he was. I knew he was Asian. He was the doctor, and we had one group, the Patels. They owned like a little hotel, and that was it. So as far as knowing any other nationality, growing up in the Boot Hill, I didn't know it. I mean, I didn't know it.
Right.
I didn't know. It's sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. But I had to get outside of that box to where I could spread my wings a little bit more and learn more about the world. And then going into the military, that really broadened my sight on life, my horizon on life.
Yeah. It does, but you know what, too? You also touched on something else that was pretty important. Learn behaviors. Like, okay, so like you said, you don't see race, you don't see color. I grew up in the big city, Baltimore. I was in Baltimore. And where I lived, our neighbor, we had one Caucasian neighbor in the area where I lived, but I never, like my parents, they always instilled in us, you gotta pretty much treat people how they treat you. Treat them by, their character. You can't judge anybody by race or color or anything like that. And I did hair initially. Like when I got out of high school, I wanted to do hair, but I did hair. I went to hair school and I did hair for 2 years, and then I was like, Dad, I want to go to college. And he said, well, if you want to go to college, you're gonna have to go find a way to go to college. I'm paying for you to go to hair school, right? So that's when I went to the military. And then I just evolved and did some different things over time. But it's amazing how that works out, though. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to travel the world and see so many different people and open my eyes and broaden my horizons. So now when I see people who are just like you said, stuck in this box where they feel like they can only cater to people that look like us and their friends and family, I was like, you will never ever do what you need to do. Just catering to this small group of people. You got to get out there. You got to, broaden your horizon. So I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah, definitely. Because one of the, what you'll learn in life whenever you're trying to do something, some of your biggest people that won't support you, that's going to try to detour you, derail you from whatever you're trying to do, is going to be your family, your friends, and your close loved ones.
Absolutely.
They're not going to see your vision. They're not going to support your vision. They're not going to do it. They're going to say, why are you doing this? Well, that doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it like this. I wouldn't do it like that. You spending too much money. You doing this. You doing that. So if you're trying to get where you're trying to go, counting on your family, your friends, and your closest loved ones, stop, cease fire. I need you to recite your set, your sight, recalibrate your sight, and just figure it out, because what you'll realize is people who don't know you will support you a whole lot more than the people that you grew up with.
You are absolutely right about that. I know for sure what you mean. Absolutely. All right, now let's get into where. Okay, so we know that you told us about growing up and how you got into barbering, which is an awesome story. I had no idea that your dad did that, gave you the clippers, and then you went off and then you started cutting hair. And well, I knew you would cut hair in Germany, but I didn't know the story before that. So tell me about when you went to Where were you? Bosnia.
Yeah, we were
Bosnia.
stationed. Right, we did Bosnia, we did Tazar Hungary, and we did Kapashulak. Not Kapashulak. We did Slavonski Brod, Croatia.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so you started
So
you started cutting hair there.
right. So I was cutting hair in the barracks, but I got more serious about it when we got deployed. That's when the birth of the name, the Fade Shop, came about when I was deployed in Bosnia during Operation Joint Endeavor. Sitting back, looking at everything around, because you kind of see the branding that's going on in the military. Back then you had Brown and Root; they was some of the big contractors, and you had a lot of the military trucks and the different types of vendors that was there. So I started looking at it. I said, you know what? I want to be something. I want to be more than just Graham cutting hair. Hey, I'm gonna go over to Graham and get my hair cut. So I was sitting down with my brother from another mother, Nathan Turner, and we were just going through the little. You remember the little green smart book that we used to have to carry with us in our top breast pocket, where we put our little notes in. So we were just scribbling through that thing. Graham's barbershop. I look good this. I look good that. And I was like, the Fade. He's like, yeah, the Fade Shop. Yeah, that's it right there. And that's when the Fade Shop was birthed in Bosnia in 1996. That's when the name the Fade Shop was birthed. And from that point there, I wrote it on my little green pad. I put it on the little nameplate on my 915. And at that point, I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this big one day. I'm gonna make it big one day.
Okay, and you did it. All right. So fast forward, you get out of the military, and you go to cosmetology school, correct?
Right. I went to Cosmo.
Okay.
I'm gonna rewind a little bit because when when we created the name the Fade Shop over in Germany, I started getting my apparel, because back then that's when the starter jackets was real big, the hoodies and stuff like that. So I went and got a hoodie with the Fade Shop put on it. I started getting the hats with the Fade Shop on it. And I remember when they had a concert coming to Germany, and it was Usher Raymond, and Usher was coming to Germany, and in my mind, I told myself, I said, I'm going to cut Usher's hair. Now, remember I told you, family, your friends, and your loved ones will be the ones that will try to stop and block you from doing what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
You set your sights too. So my buddy, the same guy who helped me name the shop, the Fade Shop, and we laugh about it. He said, "Man, you're not gonna cut Usher hair. Usher rich. He got his own barber." I was like, "All right, man, whatever you say." So I still was grinding. I was selling them tickets, and I told the guy who was putting on the show, I said, "If Usher or his any of his people need to get a haircut, let me know." Now this guy had never seen me cut hair before, but what he did see was the way I was marketing the Fade Shop. Now I was in the military marketing my brand, and I got a phone call, and they said, "Hey, Usher needs to get a haircut."
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So I put all my clippers. I had a real nice silver case, and I had went and got some hospital scrubs embroidered with the Fade Shop on the scrub, and I had a real nice Dob hat, and I put that on. And when I went in there, and I mean, Usher was hot back then. You make me want
Right.
to lead a walk with